Most men burn bright for a week and then spend 20 years wondering why the world never caught fire with them. You have felt it. That surge of absolute certainty when an idea takes hold of your mind. That moment when you know exactly what you must do. Your chest fills with purpose. Your hands shake with possibility. You tell yourself this time will be different. This time you will not quit. This time you will see it through to the end. And for 3 days, maybe 7, maybe 14, if you are stronger than most, you move like a man possessed. You work late. You wake early. You ignore the doubters. You feel invincible. Then something shifts. The fire dims. The clarity fogs. The reasons you started seem distant, almost childish. You begin to negotiate with yourself. You tell yourself you need balance. You tell yourself tomorrow will be better. You tell yourself you have done enough for now. And slowly, quietly, without ceremony or admission, you drift back into the current of ordinary living. The dream remains a dream. The plan remains a plan. And you remain exactly where you were. This is not a story about laziness. Lazy men do not start at all. This is a story about the most dangerous delusion that destroys human potential. The belief that intensity alone can substitute for consistency. The belief that burning hot for a moment equals burning steady for a lifetime. The belief that 1 week of ferocious action can overcome 10 years of scattered thinking. It cannot. I have studied the lives of more than 500 men and women who accumulated great fortunes and achieved lasting success. Not one of them reached their destination through bursts of brilliance. Not one of them built empires on the fuel of emotion alone. Every single person who rose from poverty to plenty, from obscurity to influence, from doubt to certainty, did so by learning one fundamental law of achievement. Intensity must marry consistency, or nothing permanent is ever born. Listen closely. Intensity without consistency is gambling. You stake everything on one moment, one decision, one explosive push. And when that moment passes, when the emotional high fades, when reality demands more than you prepared to give, you collapse. You blame circumstances. You blame other people. You blame timing. But the truth is simpler and harder. You never built a foundation. You built a bonfire. And bonfires always burn out. Consistency without intensity is drudgery. You show up, you go through the motions, you check the boxes, but your heart is not in it. Your mind is not focused, your desire is lukewarm. You become a machine of habit without purpose, moving forward but never arriving, working hard but never transforming. Years pass. You look back and realize you climbed a mountain you never wanted to climb. But when intensity meets consistency, when burning desire aligns with daily discipline, when the fire in your chest becomes the rhythm of your hands, something miraculous happens. Your life has to change. Not might change, not could change if you were lucky. Has to change because you have activated the most powerful force in human experience. You have placed yourself in harmony with natural law. Thomas Edison understood this. When he set out to create a practical incandescent lamp, he did not work with occasional bursts of inspiration. He worked with relentless daily focus. He failed more than 10,000 times. 10,000 experiments that produced nothing but darkness. 10,000 reasons to quit. 10,000 moments when intensity alone would have burned away into despair. But Edison combined his burning obsession with methodical consistency. Every day he showed up, every day he tested, every day he learned. And when the world finally saw light in that glass bulb, they called it genius. Edison called it persistence meeting purpose. You think you lack what Edison had. You tell yourself he was born different, born smarter, born with advantages you never received. This is the first lie you must destroy. Edison was partially deaf. He had 3 months of formal schooling. He was fired from his first 2 jobs. He failed in business multiple times before he succeeded. What separated him from 10,000 other men with dreams was not superior talent. It was superior daily action. It was the marriage of intense desire with consistent effort. Most people reverse the formula. They wait for intensity to visit them like a rare guest. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel certain. And while they wait, years dissolve. Opportunities vanish. Potential rots. because they misunderstand the nature of intensity. Intensity is not a prerequisite for action. Intensity is the result of action. You do not become intense and then begin. You begin, and through beginning consistently, you become intense. Your mind is the most powerful instrument ever created, but it is also the most easily deceived. It will convince you that thinking about a thing is the same as doing a thing. It will convince you that planning a thing is the same as achieving a thing. It will convince you that wanting a thing is the same as earning a thing. Your mind will feed you these lies every single day until you silence it with action. Consistent action, not grand gestures, not perfect execution, not flawless performance. A steady, daily, disciplined movement toward your definite chief aim. And here is what most people never grasp. Consistency is not about doing everything. It is about doing the one thing that matters most every day, without fail, until it is done. You do not need to work 20 hours a day. You do not need to sacrifice your health or abandon your family. You need to identify the single most important activity that moves you toward your goal and protect that activity like your life depends on it, because it does. Your real life, the one you dream about in quiet moments, depend entirely on whether you honor this daily appointment with your future self. But you will be tested. The moment you commit to consistent action, resistance will rise to meet you. Criticism will come. People will question your judgment. They will call you upset. They will suggest you are wasting your time. They will remind you of everyone who tried and failed. And if you are not careful, if you have not fortified your mind against the poison of negative opinion, you will falter. You will begin to doubt. You will slow down. You will make excuses. You will eventually quit. Fear of criticism has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could, because failure is a temporary condition. Criticism feels permanent. Failure is a private experience. Criticism is a public humiliation. Failure is a private experience. Criticism tests your identity. And most people, when forced to choose between pursuing their dreams and maintaining the approval of others, will choose approval every time. They will call it being realistic. They will call it being responsible. But they will spend the rest of their lives wondering what might have been. Before I continue, answer one question honestly. If you kept showing up with the same intensity you felt the first day you discovered your dream, for one full year without quitting, what would your life look like right now? If you're still listening, something inside you is waking. It is waking up because you recognize the truth in these words. You recognize the pattern in your own life, the starts and stops, the bursts and fades, the promises made and broken, the person you told yourself you would become, and the person you see in the mirror. There is a gap, and that gap exists not because you lack talent or intelligence or resources. That gap exists because intensity and consistency have never met in your life for long enough to produce transformation. Andrew Carnegie knew this. He built an empire not because he was the smartest man in steel. He built it because he understood the power of organized, consistent effort. He surrounded himself with men who compensated for his weaknesses. He created systems that operated whether he was present or not. He turned his burning vision into daily process, and those processes, repeated year after year, compounded into wealth that lasted generations. Carnegie did not win in a day. He won in 10,000 days. Each one deliberate, each one building on the last. You want results like Carnegie. You want success like Edison. You want achievement like every great person you admire. But you want it without the part that made them great. You want the harvest without the planting. You want the prize without the process. You want the destination without the journey. And so you remain where you are, hoping, wishing, waiting for a miracle that will never come. Because miracles are not given to wishers. Miracles are given to workers. Consistent workers who refuse to quit when the work gets hard. And the work will get hard. There will be days when you do not want to continue, days when your body aches and your mind rebels and your heart questions whether any of this matters. These are the days that separate the successful from the unsuccessful. These are the days when intensity means nothing and consistency means everything. These are the days when you discover what you are made of. Will you honor your commitment when no one is watching? Will you do the work when you do not feel like it? Will you persist when every fiber of your being wants to quit? Your answer to these questions determines your destiny, not your circumstances, not your education, not your connections. Your willingness to continue when continuing is difficult. Your capacity to show up when showing up feels pointless. Your determination to remain faithful to your purpose when the world offers you 1,000 reasons to abandon. I have seen men with every advantage fail. I have seen men with no advantages succeed. The difference is never external. The difference is always internal. It is the quality of thought that occupies the mind. It is the depth of desire that fuels the action. It is the strength of faith that survives the setback. And above all, it is the decision to never, under any circumstances, accept temporary defeat as permanent failure. Henry Ford failed twice before he built the Ford Motor Company. Twice he started automobile companies. Twice he lost everything. But Ford understood something most people never learn. Failure is feedback. It is not a verdict on your worth. It is not a sign from the universe to quit. It is simply information about what does not work. And if you combine that information with continued effort, if you adjust your approach while maintaining your aim, if you persist through the valleys until you reach the peaks, you make failure impossible, because you only truly fail when you stop. But stopping is easy. Stopping requires no courage. Stopping requires no discipline. Stopping requires no discipline. You simply release your grip and drift back into the current of mediocrity where most people live, where dreams are discussed but never pursued, where potential is acknowledged but never developed, where someday is always tomorrow and tomorrow never comes. Is that where you want to spend your life? Drifting, waiting, hoping, watching other people build the life you imagine for yourself? Or are you ready to do something different? Are you ready to stop negotiating with yourself? Are you ready to stop making excuses? Are you ready to stop making excuses? Are you ready to stop blaming your past and start building your future? If you are, then understand this. Nothing changes until you change. And you do not change through one grand decision. You change through 1,000 small decisions. Every morning you decide whether to honor your commitment or betray it. Every afternoon you decide whether to persist or procrastinate. Every evening you decide whether to prepare for tomorrow or collapse into distraction. These tiny decisions, invisible to everyone else, shape your destiny more than any single dramatic moment ever could. You think it. You feel it. You act on it. You become it. This is the pattern. This is the sequence. This is the law. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings fuel your actions. Your actions form your habits. Your habits determine your character. Your character decides your fate. Everything begins in the mind. But nothing remains only in the mind. Thought must move through the body into the world or it dies. And when thought moves consistently, when it shows up day after day after day with unwavering intensity, it reshapes reality itself. Do you believe that? Do you believe your thoughts have that much power? Or do you believe you are a victim of circumstances beyond your control? Because you cannot believe both. You cannot believe in your power to create your life and simultaneously believe you are powerless. You must choose. And your choice reveals itself not in what you say, but in what you do. Not in what you wish, but in how you work. There was a man I knew. I will not tell you his name because it does not matter. What matters is what he did. This man worked in a factory for 14 years. He earned barely enough to survive. He had a wife and 3 children. He had no formal education. He had no connections to wealth or power. By every measure the world uses to predict success, this man should have stayed exactly where he was. But he did not. Because this man had something more valuable than education or connections. He had a definite chief aim, and he combined that aim with daily, relentless, consistent action. Every morning before work he studied. Every evening after work he practiced. Every weekend while others rested he built. He built knowledge. He built skill. He built knowledge. He built skill. He built a vision that existed nowhere except in his mind. For 3 years nothing visible changed. His circumstances remained the same. His income remained the same. His life to any outside observer remained the same. But inside, everything was different. Inside, everything was different. Inside, he was transforming. And then one day the internal transformation became external. An opportunity appeared. A door opened, and because he had prepared himself consistently, he was ready to walk through it. Within 5 years, this man owned his own business. Within 10 years, he employed 50 people. Within 15 years, he retired wealthy. But here is what most people miss. Wealth was not the miracle. The miracle was the man. The miracle was his refusal to accept his circumstances as his destiny. The miracle was his decision to show up every single day and do the work whether he felt like it or not. The miracle was intensity, meeting consistency, until his life had no choice but to change. You have that same power, you have that same opportunity, you have that same potential. But potential means nothing until it meets persistent action. Talent means nothing until it meets disciplined effort. Desire means nothing until it meets daily commitment. This is the law. This is the truth. This is the only path that leads from where you are to where you want to be. And you must want it. Not casually. Not half-heartedly. Not when it is convenient. You must want your dream more than you want comfort. You must want your goal more than you want comfort, approval. You must want your vision more than you want temporary pleasure, because the world will offer you 1,000 distractions, 1,000 reasons to delay, 1,000 justifications for quitting. And if your desire is weak, if your commitment is shallow, if your intensity is momentary, you will accept those offers. You will choose ease over effort. You will choose now over later. You will choose now over later. You will choose what feels good over what is good. But if your desire burns, if your commitment runs deep, if your intensity fuses with consistency, nothing can stop you. Not criticism, not failure, not delay, not hardship, not doubt, nothing. Because you have activated a force that cannot be resisted. You have aligned yourself with natural law. And natural law always, always, always rewards persistent effort applied toward a definite end. The time to begin is not tomorrow. Tomorrow is a myth. Tomorrow is where dreams go to die. Tomorrow is the graveyard of unfulfilled potential. The time to begin is now, this moment, this hour, this day. Not perfectly, not with complete certainty, not with complete certainty, not when you feel ready. Now, with what you have, where you are. As you are. Begin small if you must, but begin. Take one action, one real, physical, measurable action toward your goal. And then tomorrow, take another. And the next day, another. And the day after that, another. String these actions together like pearls on a string, one by one, day by day, week by week, month by month, until you look back and realize you have traveled a distance you once thought impossible. This is not magic. This is mathematics. Small actions multiplied by consistent effort over extended time equal transformation. This is how mountains are climbed. This is how fortunes are built. This is how lives are changed. Not through dramatic gestures that fade. Through quiet discipline that accumulates. You are not special. Neither am I. Neither was Edison or Carnegie or Ford or any other person who achieved greatness. We are all subject to the same laws. We all face the same temptations. We all battle the same doubts. The only difference is the decision to continue, the willingness to persist, the refusal to quit when quitting is easy. Make that decision now, not with your words. Words are cheap. Make that decision with your actions. Tomorrow morning, take one step toward your dream. Tomorrow evening, take another. Do this for 30 days. Do not miss a single day. Do not make excuses. Do not negotiate. Just show up and do the work. 30 days of intensity, meeting consistency. And then watch what happens. Watch how your mind changes. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how opportunities appear. Watch how your life begins to bend toward your vision. And when those 30 days end, do not stop. Do it for 30 more. And 30 more after that, until consistency is no longer a challenge, until showing up is no longer a decision, until the work becomes who you are, not just what you do. This is when intensity and consistency stop being two separate forces and become one. This is when you stop trying to change your life and simply become the person whose life has changed. The world needs what you have locked inside you. The world needs the business you have not started. The world needs the book you have not written. The world needs the art you have not created. The world needs the art you have not created. The world needs the service you have not offered. But the world will never receive these gifts if you do not give them. And you cannot give them through intensity alone. You cannot give them through consistency alone. You can only give them when these two forces merge. When your burning vision becomes your daily practice. When your impossible dream becomes your inevitable reality. You are standing at a threshold. On one side is the life you have always known. Comfortable, familiar, safe, predictable, ordinary. On the other side is the life you have always imagined. Uncertain, challenging, risky, extraordinary, yours. You cannot live in both places. You must choose, and your choice will not be made once. Your choice will be made every single day. Every morning when you wake, every moment when you are tempted to quit, every evening when you review what you have done. Choose intensity, choose consistency. Choose to let them meet in you. Choose to become the person who does not just dream, but does. Who does not just plan, but persists. Who does not just wish, but works. And watch as everything changes. Your circumstances will change. Your opportunities will change. Your opportunities will change. Your results will change. Your life will change. It has to, because you have activated the law. When your intensity meets consistency, your life has to change. This is not inspiration. This is instruction. This is not motivation. This is method. Follow it, trust it, live it, and everything you want will come to you. Not because you deserved it, not because you were chosen, but because you earned it. One day at a time, one action at a time, one decision at a time, until the person you wanted to become is the person you are. Now go. Stop reading. Stop planning. Stop preparing. Go take one action, one real step toward your dream. And then tomorrow, take another. This is your life. This is your moment. This is your choice. Make it count. If this message reached something deep inside you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who is standing on the same threshold you are standing on. Someone who has the dream but lacks the daily discipline. Send it to them. Not tomorrow. Now. And if you want more truth like this, truth that cuts through the noise and gives you the real principles of achievement, subscribe, because I am not here to entertain you. I am here to equip you. And the world has enough dreamers. It needs more doers. It needs you. Become who you were meant to be.